overcome some of the objections that we usually get. So this is the skill set that is going to help you make a lot of money, okay? So this is one of the most important skill sets that you'll learn in this business, and you want to get good at it sooner rather than later. Because, our mission, right? The mission of our company is to do what? Help families become properly protected, debt-free, financially independent, right? But if you're not going on appointments, how are you going to help anybody, right? And we're face-to-face, kneecap-to-kneecap, Zoom-to-Zoom type of business, right? So you got to get in front of people in order to help them accomplish those things. And then, like Samir said, once you learn this skill set, now you can teach other people how to do it. And when you're able to teach others how to do it, now you have a business that can run without you. Because it's one thing to have a lot of money, but if you have a lot of money but you don't have any time, then you don't have the time to spend that money, right? So if you want a great standard of living, you want to have both wealth of money but also wealth of time as well, right? And so now, the purpose, a little bit of mindset, right? The purpose of setting appointments, number one, is to get you trained. Especially when you're new here, right? People don't see you as a financial advisor yet, so it would be pretty weird if you went up to them and said, hey, I'm gonna help you with your money, right? Yeah. So you wanna emphasize that this is for your training. And even till this day, when I talk to, my lukewarm or warm market, I still tell them I'm in training, except I say I'm in training for my promotion, right? Because of course I've been around for quite some time. It would be pretty weird if I said I was still learning. But one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they filter a little bit too much, right? They say, oh, you know what, this client, they are super well off, they're very financially savvy, or they've worked in the financial industry before. And let me tell you, you're probably wrong, okay? I can't tell you the amount of times where I've gone on a training appointment with a recruit that said, oh, this person's super financially savvy, and they have a whole life policy, right? Or universal life policy, and we're able to help them save a ton of money. And then number two is to get you referrals, right? This is another really, really important reason why we want to go on a ton of appointments. Because the more people you see, the more exposure you're gonna get for your business, right? Companies are spending millions and millions of dollars on advertisement because they understand the more eyes they get in front of, the more money they're gonna make, right? And in this business, we do that by setting appointments and going to see a ton of people. And on every appointment, we get at least like 3, 5 at a minimum referrals to other families, right? And when you're done with training, would you rather have 30, 50 people to go see, or just the 10 contacts that's in your phone, right? And number 3 is, of course, the end game is to help you get a recruit or help you get a client as well, so that we can help you build your bonus or get you promoted. And so now let me get into some of the scripts. So it's really cool. So especially if you're new, also, you want to try to stick to the script as much as possible, okay? This script has been revised over and over and over again by the best of the best people in our company, like Samir and Shaq, right? So you want to stick to the script. And, the other day I was telling Sushil, sometimes I think we forget how lucky we are to be in this office out of the dozens of offices that's in our area, that we ended up here, right, and get trained by Shaq and Samir, because a lot of other offices, they don't train like we do. And so, we're very lucky to have them. And now, let me just go here. So first, when you get into the script, you want to introduce yourself a little bit, right? Say, hey, how are you? Catch up a little bit. Especially if you haven't seen them in a long time, you kind of want to reestablish that connection, right, that relationship, and then you can go into why you're calling. So, well, I was just calling because I need to ask you for a favor. I just started working with a financial company. I'm really excited. You want to be excited, right, because people don't want to burst your bubble when you're excited. You don't want to just sound really depressed when you're speaking about this, and of course, speak clearly, don't mumble and stuff like that, right? So I just need help with my training. Again, emphasis on training. All I have to do is witness 10 training presentations in order to get my state license. This is what's going to communicate with them how serious this is and how important this is for you. There are no costs or obligations, and it'll just take 30 to 40 minutes. Would you and spouse be willing to help me out? Great. I just want you to see what I'm doing so you can help me and refer me to people. I am scheduled to work either Monday or Tuesday. You always want to give people 2 options, right? This is how you're going to be able to keep control over the conversation, especially with the holidays coming up. If you just ask them, hey, when are you free? They're probably going to tell you next year. Okay, so you don't want to do that, right? And now, also, if you're able to, you guys, try to set that appointment right away, like even that evening, if they have the free time, or the next 2 days, because people are busy, right? The further you set that appointment for, the more likely it is for them to forget about it, right? So they say what the difference between like amateur and professional sports is the speed of the game, right? So which days works better for you? Great. We can come by around 6 or 8. Which do you prefer? Right, awesome. What's your address? Or if you're on Zoom, right, what is your email? Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I'll be coming with my trainer, so please help me make sure that your spouse is there. Otherwise, I won't get full credit. Also, if you have to change that schedule, please just let me know 24 to 48 hours in advance, because any last minute changes will really make me look bad. If not, we will definitely see you on Monday at 6 p.m., right? Thank you. So you want to feed it back to them so that they don't forget, right? And again, also make sure that you're telling them not to reschedule on you, or if they do, to let you know ahead of time, right? Because sometimes people are bad with time management, so you want to just make sure to put it out there so they know not to waste your time as well, right? So now, let me go to this. So what is a qualified appointment? So this is really, really, really important, you guys, right? Sometimes we get off the phone and we forget to get their address or their email, and that's not good, right? If you got them on the phone, you want to make sure you get everything while you're on the phone with them, because sometimes you don't get that second chance, right? So you want to, of course, you should already know their name, right, and number if you're calling them. But of course, you need to get a time, right, a set time, a day and a time that works for everybody. And again, email or address if you're meeting with them. And when you're setting appointments, you want to make sure that these are with qualified people. If you don't know what this is, ask your trainer, but I think everyone in here should know what that is by now, right? Married, age 25, 55, children, homeowner, occupation. And so now let me go into some of the objections that we might get, or some of the questions that you might get while you're setting appointments. So the standard American response, right? This is probably the most common one. Let me talk to my spouse or check my calendar first. So again, sometimes we only get that one chance to book that appointment with them, so you don't want to give up, right? Just keep talking to them on the phone, and this is what you can say. So, okay, great. I also need to coordinate a time with my trainer's schedule as well. I usually share my calendar with my guys so that they can just look at it and see when I'm available. While I have you on the phone, how about we just set something up tentatively, right, for now? And when are you and your spouse usually home together? Evenings or weekends, right? Let's say they say evenings. Okay, great. Would, Monday or Sunday work better for you? Sunday, okay, 6 or 8. Awesome, great. Now, if anything changes, just please give me a call at least 24 to 48 hours in advance. Otherwise, we will definitely see you then, okay? I always say we'll definitely see you then, so that they know that you're serious, right? That it's not just like some arbitrary thing, right? And then another one that you might get is, what do I have to do? So you always want to answer their question, and immediately right after that, you want to end it with a question. So for example, right? So, okay, great. we will be sharing some concepts and information with you guys for about 30 minutes, and we'll make it easy by coming to your house for me to get the best training. All I ask is that both you and your spouse are available at home, and that you ask a lot of questions. That's all. When are you guys usually home together? Evenings or weekends? Pretty simple, right? And then what do you do for work? Well, what do you do, right? So we just help families plan their financial future and get them out of debt sooner. But like I said, this is primarily for my training, and I want you to feel comfortable introducing me to people. When are you and your spouse usually home together? Evenings or weekends? Again, always end it with a question and always bring it back to setting up a time and a day with them, right? Because if you don't, they're gonna just keep steamrolling you with other questions, and you don't want that to happen. So now, similarly, does my spouse need to be there? So I feel like a lot of us sometimes get this too, but yes, right? In order for me to get credit, I need both of you to be there. When are you guys usually home together, evenings or weekends? Sometimes that's good enough and they'll set the appointment with you, but sometimes they're gonna keep asking you like, wait, but I don't get it. Like, why does this have to do with my spouse? Like, why do they have to be there? So what I say is, when I'm done with training, I will be, or if you're training someone, right, when Maylin has completed training, she will mostly be meeting with people who are married and have kids, and it is really frowned upon in the financial industry for us to meet with only one of the spouse without the other, because people who are married, they make financial decisions together. Wouldn't you agree? And at that point, they'll say yes, right? So a lot of them will be like, okay, yeah, that's true, right? So in order for her to get the best training, our company wants to make that training as realistic as possible. So they're really strict about how they give credit for training. So does that make more sense? And most of the time they'll be yes, right? Like 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. So when are you guys usually home together, right? Time and time. Then if they say, we're really busy. So I know you're busy, and that's exactly why I asked you, because you are a busy person and credible. You will be a perfect referral source, so would you be able to help me out with that? When are you and your spouse usually home together, evenings or weekends? And then we already have someone that does that. So that's fine. There's no cost or obligations, but if you see something that really excites you and want to get involved, great. If not, like I said, it's primarily for my training, and I want you to feel comfortable introducing me to people, right? Again, emphasizing on the training, emphasizing on the referral. When people sense that you're trying to sell them something, they're gonna have their guard up, right? And that's not what you want. You want their guard to be down so they feel more comfortable moving forward with you, and also going into that appointment with an open mind, right? And again, when are you and your spouse usually home together? And the last one, I'm not interested. So this is similar to we already have an advisor, right? So that's okay. It's just for my training, and it would mean a lot to me. You want to make it important to you, right? If it's not important to you, why would it be important to them, and why would they even give you time or take time out of their busy day to meet with you? I'm only asking the people that I really think I can count on. Maybe you can just refer me to a few people. This is really important to me. Will you help me out? And if they're really your friend, of course, they're gonna say yes. And if they say no, then you know who not to get a Christmas present for this year. So yeah, those are the main objections that we get. But before you get on the phone, one thing you want to do, and this is something that Shaq talks to us a lot about even when we make calls, is that one thing you can do is like stand up, right? You want to have a lot of energy. You want to be excited, smile. People can't see you over the phone, but they can feel you and they can sense that excitement. So if you're dull and unexcited, they're not going to be excited either. And sales is what? A transfer of energy, right? So if you're excited, they'll be excited. But also practice, right? Make sure you're going over this. Read it out loud to yourself or with your trainer, so that you can sound as natural as possible before you get on the phone. But after this meeting, you guys, right, as you know, we have Blitz, especially if you don't have any guests. We want to make the most out of our time together here, right? A lot of us only come here once a week. So we want to make the most out of our time to stay around for another half an hour, get on the phone, look through your contacts. There's probably a ton of people on there that you haven't reached out to yet. So if you're part-time, the goal is to set at least 1 or 2 appointments a day. So that's like what, 7 to 14 set a week. Half of them are gonna happen because life happens, right? People are gonna reschedule on you. And that's about what, like 7, 10 hours a day that you're putting into this business, right? Because of course, if you're not going on appointments, you're not gonna make any money. Setting appointments is one of those income producing activities that we do. So if you wanna make income, you gotta focus on those income producing activities, okay? But thank you guys, that was